and welcome to a record showing of LPs that I collected in Gardnerville, Nevada, at an antique shop of all places, probably in the top three scores. Now, these records were moderately priced. They weren't $1 or $2 or $5. In fact, a couple of these I spent 20 bucks on. But the condition was the thing that was most surprising to me. Almost everything that I looked at had never been taken out of its inner sleeve. So I only picked up 8 records. Ended up spending about 120 bucks with tax. I definitely could have spent like $500 there. But I thought I'd go through these. Sorry, it's been a while. I posted a video. I'm sure I haven't really kept anyone waiting though. I've been having some computer problems and such. So we're trying it out here from another room here. And here, let's just start with the LPs. First one I got for you, hope this looks good, is Fear, the record. This is the first Fear record. It's on original Slash. Perfect condition. Got the receipt there from the antique shop. Yeah, Fear was one of those Southern California bands that really pushed the bill. They were into political incorrectness. They were very controversial. They did a lot of things that by today's standards would not be acceptable. But I think their music really shined. For me, and certainly for a lot of people I knew who were into punk maybe 10, 15 years ago, they stand out as one of those bands that gets you up and gets you moving and makes you pound your fists, just jump up and down literally off the walls. I don't know what it is about Fear. They pretty much embody their name. If you've never checked them out, they're in the decline of Western civilization. They only have a few decent records, this being the number one. Their big hit that everyone knows being I Love Living in the City. Check them out. Next up we got Talking Heads record. Getting some glare there. This is Remain in the Light. Or The Glare in this case. I think this is the third or fourth album. This has one big hit that I think was on the movie David Byrne did. Once in a Lifetime is the big hit on this. Most of the other stuff is pretty obscure and kind of typical of Talking Heads. Some different African-style beats and such in there. Really great listen. Talking Heads is one of the bands that came out of the CBGB's kind of eclectic New York Lower East Side punk scene, the original scene that spawned the Ramones and all those, the Dead Boys. But Talking Heads really stood out and had pop success and even had spin-offs, that Tom Tom Club that would go on to be a big thing in early hip-hop, and I could ramble on for quite some time, but I think most of their releases are pretty good. Next up here, another one I got. This one's kind of weird. Most of the stuff they had was 80s heavy metal and 70s hard rock and heavy metal. This actually is the first album. I'm not quite sure if it's the actual original release, but it's the first album from Samson. Now, Samson is Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden. It's his prior band before he joined Iron Maiden. As many probably might know, Iron Maiden started off the first 2 albums with a different singer. A little more punk, less operatic, heavy metal sounding. I haven't given that much of a spin yet. It has some funny titles to it. This next one's actually Samson as well. Now, this is a greatest hits of their second and third album. Pretty funny cover here, especially since they're British, of course, and this is American football. I don't know what they were going for there. It's called Head Tactics because it's a combination of their second and third albums. One which was called Head On, and the other was called Shock Tactics. Another Bruce Dickinson pre-Iron Maiden. After this third album that's included on here, the best songs from that, he would join Iron Maiden. Kind of interesting. Of course, a huge Iron Maiden fan, so that was quite the find for me, and again, really good condition. Next up is somewhat of a holy grail for 70s stuff. It's a band that I've almost bought on eBay a few times. This glare is pretty bad. There we go. It's called Armageddon. And this is kind of a super group. I don't know by memory who's all in it, but it has a guy that's originally from the Yardbirds, Keith Rife, Reif, or Relf, R-E-I-F, R-E-L-F, Relf. Very strange. Another guy from was on Rod Stewart's original album. Bobby Caldwell, which also oddly enough is on this next one. A group called Captain Beyond, also Johnny Winter, and someone from a couple groups, Renaissance and Steamhammer. Give this a few spins. It's pretty good. It was a $25 record. It's in great shape. It's about what it goes for on eBay or more. Next up is that one with the same drummer from Armageddon. This is Captain Beyond. When I lived in Portland, this was a group that kind of got a lot of recognition. This is the third album, and apparently their most commercial. A lot of people dislike it. A lot of people like it. It's interesting. I don't know if it's really representative of their work. Again, we have Bobby Caldwell. I believe we have two of the guys from Vanilla Fudge. This actually is not going to tell me that, and I believe that's right though. But yeah, that same drummer, Bobby Caldwell, and I think a couple of guys from Vanilla Fudge. Next up, this was only $3. It's my only cheap one I bought. We got Sweat Hog. Some serious water damage on the LP bottom right here. No joke intended there. But this was actually, the record's actually, again, in near mint condition. It's just, he was grading everything by the outer sleeve. It was very strange. This is Southern Rock, first album. Apparently their second album had a great hit, Hallelujah, that never hit hard on the FM radios that should have. I've given it a spin. It wasn't too great, but definitely worth $3. It's pretty obscure. And the last one is another one I paid a handsome penny for, but I'm a big fan. This is Ronnie James Dio's. We'll just say his... I mean, he originally did doo-wop. I have a couple of those 45s, but his first big kind of heavy metal, kind of southern actually, states up here featuring Ronnie James Dio. Carolina County Ball, Ronnie's right here. And yeah, this is one of the three ELF, E-L-F bands. ELF, not Elf like the sitcom from the 80s with the guy that eats cats. But yeah, he was actually in a band called ELF, and they probably named it because he kind of looked elfish. You know, later he would go on to be, after this, in Sabbath, replacing Ozzy, and then have his own solo career with Dio. Yeah, Ronnie James Dio is one of those guys that's got a super amazing career. So, yeah, those are my 8 LPs I picked up at Cheshire Antiques in Gardnerville, Nevada. Very strange. Most of the time, a lot of people that collect vinyl go to antique shops. They're wildly overpriced. And also usually junk, stuff you can't even give away. If you know anything about records, you're usually laughing. This antique shop was completely covered with good records. I saw a Replacements record, Hootenanny, that I didn't buy. I saw a Metallica original Megaforce Kill 'Em All, their first album. I saw Mentor's album, which is a really weird, obscure band. Keep in mind, these were expensive, but you know, they're just out like normal things. Saw tons of Iron Maiden. Of course, I have every Iron Maiden. It was just a strange experience. My girlfriend was helping me, and she just kept going, oh, there's more over here. There's more over here. They weren't together. The place itself was rather weird, but it was a very enjoyable experience, and thought I'd share that with you. Thank you so much, and I hope you liked this video. Like and subscribe, comment below. I would appreciate it. Thank you.